If you have aspirations, things that you want to achieve, or habits that you'd like to change, but you haven't been able to be as consistent as you'd like or get the results that you desire, then this video is for you. As I'm sure we are all well aware, it is so easy to have these intentions and ideas of what we would like to change. But even if we feel so convinced that we are going to do what's necessary in order to reach those goals, if we do not put into practice the things that are actually going to help us change our patterns, then we can find ourselves just a month or two down the road, not even thinking about that thing anymore, or maybe feeling really discouraged because we feel like we just couldn't stay consistent. So if you have ideas of what you want to do this year, what you want to change or focus on or strive for, then we are going to take the time to help you create that reality, to help you do things differently and take evidence-based, tangible steps that will help keep you moving in that direction. This video is the first of a 3-month series I'm doing that is dedicated to helping you show up differently, be more consistent, and stick with the goals that you have for yourself. Within the series, I'm going to be going over specific mindset shifts, skills, and tools that if you implement them, you will see a difference in how you're showing up and a difference in the results that you're getting with your goals in your life. So if you want to follow along as you work on making a change in your life, you can get on the email list to get reminders on certain topics as well as extra insights to help you on your journey. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get notifications for when the next video comes out and to support the channel. In today's video, the first of the series, I'm going to take you through a process to help you get just so much clarity around what it is you're wanting to change or work toward, and really just help set you up for success. Now, there are 5 steps in today's process, so I highly recommend getting a pen and paper or maybe pulling up your notes app on your laptop and writing your answers to each of these steps down. And if it appeals to you, treat this as a date with yourself. Write these steps down and then take yourself to a coffee shop or maybe to the park. Do something to make this feel just fun and inspiring. Step 1 is defining your direction. To really get anywhere, we have to know the direction we are trying to go. So what is it that you are wanting to work on, change, or strive for? What do you want to focus on or prioritize in your life right now? And whether you came to this with a goal or intention in mind or not, before you start putting time and energy into these things, take whatever your answers were to the previous questions and ask yourself, is this meaningful to me? Why does this feel meaningful to me? Will this help make me feel how I want to feel? Is this aligned with the life that I want to create for myself? And if you end up realizing that your answers to those questions actually were coming from a place of should, of what you feel like you should want for yourself or what you should work toward, or maybe it was just something that sounded like a fun idea, but isn't something you actually want to put your time and energy toward, that's okay. Now you have that clarity and you can get clarity around what it is that you actually do want to put your time and energy toward. And if you find yourself coming up with a whole list of things, then pick your top 1 to 4 things and then let the rest go. Right? We only have so much time and energy and attention. We can only prioritize so much in our lives at any given point in time. You can always return to those other things at another time. Step 2 is getting clear on the vision. So once you feel good about what you've decided as your top priorities for what you want to change your actions and your habits around, we're going to take those and turn them into more specific goals. So things like eating healthy, sticking with an exercise routine, keeping your home tidy, or working on a project, those are not specific actions. Those are more like general ideas. So you want to take those things and really think about what you envision of those, how those look in your life. If eating healthier is one of your goals, what do you envision that actually looking like? What are the actual actions you're wanting yourself to stick with? And then make your goals based on that. And because brains tend to really love concrete timeframes, I want you to think about these as things that you are going to prioritize and focus on for the next 3 months. So for example, you could say, I want to stick with an exercise routine where I work out 3 times a week, and I want to meal prep for my lunches for the week every Sunday for the next 3 months. So look back at your answers for step 1 and then write down a more specific goal for each of those. Then you're going to take this a step further by writing out the daily and weekly actions that go into each one of these goals. This just makes things far less vague and gives your brain so much clarity around what you're actually aiming to do from an action standpoint. Imagine telling yourself, I'm going to eat healthy today. Then imagine telling yourself, okay, I'm going to make sure to have a good quality source of protein and a vegetable with my lunch today. The latter is so much easier to actually follow through with. Step 3 is crafting a plan. So now I want to plan out the when, the where, and the how of implementing these actions into our days and our weeks. So taking the meal prep example, the specific actions that might fall under that might be planning out the meals that you're going to make that week, going to the grocery store and actually buying the groceries, then making time to actually prep and cook the food. So then we can take those actions and we can go to our calendar or our schedule and just look at when feels like a good time for us to actually do those things. And from working with people for years, one thing I will say is to not hone in on what feels like the most optimal or ideal time, but rather knowing your schedule and your lifestyle and your tendencies, which times are going to lead to the highest probability of you actually following through with those things, of you actually doing them. And another key part of this is actually reminding ourselves to do the thing. Anytime we start doing something new, it is so helpful to have some kind of reminder because our brains are wired to keep doing what it's most used to doing. Let's say you buy supplements to start taking. Without any kind of cue or reminder, you're likely to forget to take them. You'll probably need some kind of alarm or reminder notification or some kind of visual cue like leaving the supplements out on your counter until it becomes a more ingrained habit and a part of your routine. So take the actions you're wanting to implement and also plan for how you want to remind yourself to do the thing. You can put them in your calendar, you can set up alarms or notifications, you can put up a sticky note somewhere or create some kind of visual cue. And you may have to experiment with this a little bit and just find what actually works for you. And this may feel like extra work you don't necessarily feel like doing, but this is one of those things where there is front-loaded work that ends up helping so much with implementation in the long run and is one of those things that your future self will be so grateful you did. And with your plan, it is okay if you don't always follow your plan to a T. The point of the plan is to give more clarity and structure of what we're aiming to do instead of leaving things as some ambiguous at some point that ends up making it so easy to continue to put off. Step 4 is defining your check-in process. One of the biggest reasons we fall off from our goals is simply from losing sight of them as we get so wrapped up into everything else going on in our lives. So if we are looking to really make changes this go around, something we can do to help us stay focused on our goals is having a weekly check-in for them. Having a moment each week where we refocus on our goals and refocus on what we're wanting to prioritize. And maybe even doing a little bit of reflection, as reflection has been shown to be so beneficial in helping us change our patterns and our behaviors. This little check-in can be a 10 to 20 minute moment of your week where you remind yourself of your desires and what you're wanting to prioritize in your life right now, where you maybe do some planning or look over your schedule and remind yourself of things that you already planned for, and where you maybe ask yourself a few reflection questions like, what felt like a win or improvement this week, even if it's a 1% difference? Where did I do something differently than I would have in the past? In what ways do I feel like I aligned with my goals and the type of person I want to become? What specific actions are involved in this week's focus? And how can I set myself up for success? Coming from a place of curiosity and not judgment, where did I not follow through with my goal in the way I wanted to? What do I think contributed to that? And what do I think I could try doing differently this week? I recommend treating this check-in with yourself less like a chore and more like a fun reminder of the version of you that you're becoming and the life that you're creating for yourself. Make it a vibe of sorts. Grab a fun drink that you like, put on some music that you really love, or take yourself on a weekly coffee or nature date to do your weekly reflection. You want this to feel like something that you're doing for you. So pick a time you want to do it each week and then build it into a routine that becomes a more ingrained part of your week, like on Sunday mornings or when you come to watch the next week's video for this series each week. Step 5 is making a visual. Personally, I find having a visual for all this that I can easily refer back to incredibly helpful, especially knowing just how much what we look at often can influence our mindset. So for me, I have a page on Notion where I have listed out my main priorities and goals and the actions I'm looking to implement. And then I have another page that serves more as a vision board with actual pictures. You can use Notion for this, you can use Canva, you can use Pinterest, you can do it however you want. You can simply have a page that lists out your top priorities and your goals and just make that be something you can easily refer back to and look at. And if you make some kind of vision board, I highly recommend when you go to look for pictures, focus way less on pictures that represent the outcome that you're aiming for, and way more on pictures that represent what your actual day-to-day would look like of you implementing those actions. You want it to help represent and serve as a visual for the version of you that is doing the things that are going to get you the outcome that you're looking for. So you can go back and look at what you wrote down as your daily and weekly actions and then find pictures that help emulate those. So going back to the meal prep example, maybe you find pictures of someone planning out meals or just planning something out. You can look for pictures of someone buying groceries at the grocery store, pictures of someone chopping up vegetables, someone cooking, maybe even pictures of delicious, healthy meals that look really good to you. So as a quick recap, step 1, define your direction. What are the 1 to 4 things that you are wanting to change, strive for, or prioritize right now? Step 2, get clear on the vision. Turn your answers from step 1 into more specific goals for the next 3 months based on specific actions you are aiming to take. Step 3 is crafting a plan. Plan out the when, where, and how of the actions involved in your goal and how you're going to remind yourself to do them. Step 4 is defining your check-in process. List out what it is you're going to do with your weekly date as a check-in with your goals, and then pick a date and time for you to do this each week. And step 5 is making a visual. Create some kind of vision board that serves as inspiration and reminders of your goals and the version of you you're looking to become. My passion is really helping people change in the ways that they want to and really helping them create a life that feels so good to them. So I am so excited for this series and to share the tools and the changes in perspective that will really help you reach your goals and help you become the version of yourself that you want to be. So to follow along with this series, make sure to subscribe to get the notification for each week's video. And if you want extra insights or reminders on each week's topic, make sure to sign up for the email list. And if you found this video of any value or helpful at all, make sure to hit the like button as it just helps so much. But thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.